Hi, I'm Anna Quinn. I'm just a common, attractive woman, according to Myron. Sorry, okay. I just had to get that out of my system.
Like, here's the thing. The less I care, the less I try. Okay. So, like, when it's, like, girls like that are, like, right on the edge, I'm 100% direct. Like, I ain't spitting no game, like...
I might get some hate from this video, but this is going to be fun. So, let's get into it.
You made a monster.
Alright, welcome to the video. Before we get into things, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It really helps, the algorithm. And turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. I don't have a regular posting schedule because, as you can see, I'm in recovery. But I try and post once a week or once every other week or so. Hopefully, as things settle down and I get this off my neck, I'll be able to post on a more regular basis. Give a quick update before I get into tonight's topic. So I've got about 4.5 weeks before I go, get checked out and make sure that my fusion worked. They had to fuse my C4 to C7 vertebrae, as I mentioned in the previous video. And apparently when you fuse multiple vertebrae together, there is a higher probability that the fusion doesn't actually take, which can be problematic later on in life, where I'd have to potentially get another surgery and try again. The screws can come loose and fall out and all bad stuff. Fingers crossed the fusion takes and won't have to worry about it. I'm able to get around. I've been able to do some lower body workouts. Still can't do anything with the upper body, but hopefully, doctor will clear me to start doing some minor lifting here soon. With that, let's get into today's topic. Last week, Fresh&Fit podcast had a couple of great guests. They had Austin Dunham, who I'm a big fan of, and they had David De Las Morenas from How to Beast, who I'm also a big fan of. At the same time, Myron displayed what can only be classified as amateur level of game. And we're going to get into it. So I'm going to show one side of the story. I'm going to show Myron's reaction. You can watch the interview that Kevin Ray Wilder did with the girl involved in this situation for the full, her full take on it. I'm going to show clips from that interview. He approached it from a different perspective. He's approaching it from an ethical, moral type perspective. I'm going to approach it from more of a PUA type perspective and analyze how effective this is and whether or not Myron's actually being open about what happened here.
Yeah, so I received a text message actually from one of my friends, and he is a friend of, or he knows Myron, and he was like, "Hey, Anna, I have this friend that really, really wants to get a hold of you and wants to collab with you. This is his name. Can I connect you to?" And I was like, "Hey, I actually already have a DM from him. Now that I know that, you vouched for him, I'll go ahead and respond."
All right, so two things I want to note here. One, he already DM'd her. So he's already messaged her once. She did not reply. Then he has a friend reach out to her, a friend that knows her, reach out to her and connect them. This is a lot of effort to put in for a girl he's never met, girl he's never talked to try and get her to collab or even, and we'll see what happens next.
I've had some words with that friend since then. But Myron actually DM'd me, said, "Yo, let's collab." I posted a screenshot of that. He was the first one to reach out, regardless of what he likes to say. So he asked me, "Can we collab?" I said, "Sure, what you got in mind?" He was like, "Can you come to Miami?" Yeah, we'll show the whole conversation. But basically, he said, "Okay, come to Miami. We'll do a collab. I have a podcast. We talk about dating. Are you single?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm single. I think this would be super fun. Awesome." And he's like, "Okay, cool. By the way, I don't want to do anything platonic with you."
So far, he's talked all about business, and I'll show. She's going to show the actual clips, and I'll jump straight to it and go through the conversation. Because in terms of text message game, what he shows here is an amateur level of text message game. There was no escalation. There was no comfort level. He just jumped straight into it and said, "Hey, you want to come collab? Great, we're gonna smash." No, that's. I had better game in middle school. You don't do that. This is not how you pick up girls.
And I was like, wait, what? Like, huh? I was a little confused. So I said, what do you mean? Like, I'm not trying to do anything except collab with you. I'm a business person. I didn't say I'm a business person, but I'm a business person. So that's what I was thinking. And he said, yeah, I only collab with girls I date.
That makes me wonder, how many of these girls that he has on the After Hours show he's hooking up with?
And so then I was a little confused. It's like, oh, so if we're not dating, you don't want to collab with me. Because again, I know nothing about this man. So like, I don't know if that's even him asking me on a date, but why would I want to go out with someone who I literally know nothing about? Anyway, so I said that to him. Why would I literally know nothing about you. Why would I want to go out with you? And he said, because high value men are not common, but attractive women are.
Again, this is just a terrible, terrible example of game. If you walk up to a girl in a club and said, I'm an alpha man, let's go. She's going to laugh at you, smack you, and walk out or walk away. If you're a high value guy, you don't have to tell somebody you're a high value guy. If you're an alpha male, you don't have to tell anybody you're an alpha male. It just is. And if you have to say it, then you're not. It's really that simple. The fact that you're going to show that, you put that in a text message and try and use that to get somebody to come to you, it shows you don't have a lot of respect for yourself, much less anybody else. But it's not going to be successful.
And I was so like blown away and appalled that someone would actually just say that. Because, I mean, first off, he doesn't know me at all. So he doesn't know what kind of value I provide. So, or what I'm bringing to the table. Doesn't know, I mean, doesn't even know how much money I make. I could make more money than he does.
Here she kind of goes off the rails a little bit. And she makes the same mistake that Tommy Lauren did. And I pointed that out in a video a long time ago, where she thinks that how much money she makes is going to, bring something to the table. As Tommy Lauren put it, she's going to bring a table to the table. Guys don't care about that. We have our own money. We have our own stuff. You bringing more money is not helping us. You're bringing the same thing. You need to compliment the guy. So your value is bringing something he doesn't have and can't have. So if he wants to have kids, do you want to have kids? Or would you be a good mother? In his particular case, he's trying to grow a business. Would you have any skills that would help him grow a business? Or would you be able to take care of the house while he's doing it? The fact that you have a business on the side is great. That doesn't help him. So in terms of bringing something to the table, that gives him no value. Over time, physical beauty is going to fade. So, if that's the only thing you're bringing to the table, then you have a expiration date on that. There are things that I'm sure she could bring to the table, but she's not listing those here. And in all fairness, she is correct. Myron doesn't know her. He's never met her, and this is the first time talking to her, and it's only via text. And so he has no idea what her value is. He's just assuming that she has no value. He's also assuming, and so flipping the script here, in the same conversation, he is making the exact same mistake that Tommy Lauren and Anna made, and he's assuming his own value. I said it in that video, and I'll say it again. I think I said it in the PhD video I did too. You do not determine your market value. You don't walk into a bar saying, I'm a 10, give me all the 10s. That's not how it works. The market determines your market value. When you walk into a bar, if all the 10s are attracted to you, then you're a 10. If all the 10s are repulsed by you and the only thing coming over to you are 5s, guess what? You're a 5. That's how it works. She's not my type, and I'm gonna stop right here, give a quick caveat. I'm a married guy. Don't know this chick from Adam, and like I said, she's not my type. I'm not simping for her. I'm not white knighting for her. I'm pointing out the fact that Myron's attempt at game here was flat out terrible, and hopefully this is not what he teaches in his How to Slide Into Her DMs course. I haven't purchased that course because I don't need it. Again, I'm a married guy. But if this is the type of messages he's telling to teach, then the course is not worth it. I can't speak to what's actually in that course, but if this is an example of it, not worth your time and money.
All he knows, literally knows nothing about me. So to say that I'm not high value and just say that he's a high value man, I'm just an attractive female. So I said that. I said, well, you haven't proven that you're a high value man to me. I was so just blown away that this could.
And she's correct there. If you have to say you're a high value guy, you're probably not. High value is determined by the fact that, in this particular case, women, that your customers, which would be women in this particular case, are desiring you. Your demand is high. That's literally what high value means. So if you have to say I'm high value, you're probably not.
Actually be an approach to trying to date someone or get laid or whatever. So I screenshotted it, blurred out his name, kept it completely anonymous. And I posted it and I put a little, box on my story, like, what are y'all's thoughts? Because I knew my followers would be blown away too. Because again, like, you have to think about the network and the groups of people. Like, my group of people is, I have a lot of moms that follow me. I have a lot of like young girls, but I have a lot of women, and I don't post a lot of I've never posted a picture in my underwear, like stuff. I don't post raunchy content, and so the people that follow me are not.
If you go look at her Instagram, you'll see that she does post some like, I don't want to call them booty shots because it's not the typical like bikini wearing thong type booty shots. It's her in tight workout pants, and she's at the gym, and she's basically showing off her gains. It'd be like a guy sitting, like David from How to Beast. When he gets done with his workout, you'll see him take a picture where he's flexing in the mirror, checking out his gains. It's that kind of thing. She obviously does some glute workouts, and she's checking out her gains, and she'll post those pictures. That's about the extent of the risqueness of her Instagram. I don't know where Myron thought that this was a good idea. Like, I could see how he might approach this with some of the girls he deals with in Miami that are basically posting stuff on their Instagram that's all but nude. I don't get how he thought this was a good idea or a good approach.
They're for raunchy content. So they were appalled. I post a lot about Jesus. I got Jesus people on my page. So everyone was commenting, saying like how blown away. Every woman was like appalled that a man would just come at someone like that and be like, you're not, like, I'm high value and attractive women are common and I'm only trying to clap. So I sent him a screenshot of some of the responses, and I was like, dude, this is not how you talk to women, dude, you're tripping. And I had like the laughing emoji, and I'm laughing as I'm typing this stuff. And then
I will say she does seem to have a pretty good sense of humor about this. I haven't seen any evidence. I checked out her Instagram, looked through her Instagram stories, at least the ones that I can see. I don't follow a whole lot of people on Instagram, so I'm not going to follow her just to check this out. From what I can see, she doesn't seem to be bitter about this. She seems to be kind of laughing off, like, this is your approach to dating? Dude, you're not going to get very far with this. I do tend to like her mindset on this, and let's see how she goes from here.
And I sent him those screenshots, and that's when he like blew up. You're not special. You've slept with a bunch of guys I know. Like, he just went off. And that's when he told me, and the screenshots show that, post a screenshot of it. Like, I don't care. So that's when I was like, okay, fine. I'll do that. So I did. And then, then all of his claims, oh, she threatened my business. Oh.
So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to jump straight, because I want to address something she just said in a second, but I want you to actually see the message when I'm addressing it. So we're going to, the clip that Kevin shows, because it's already clipped for me, so I don't have to redo the clip, but I'm going to show what Myron says and give his side of the story. And he doesn't seem to refute anything that she says. He just he tries to dismiss it. So we'll see.
Some short hair fitness girl came at you, Myron.
Absolutely, she did. Real quick, because I already know I'm going to get questions on this, guys. I'm just going to give you guys the cliff notes. I told the girl, yo, let's collab. She's like, oh, I'm going to come out to Miami. I was like, when can you be here? She's like, oh, next week. I was like, all right, cool. Just so you know, I don't do platonic relationships. All
right, so here, he reached out to her. He said as much there. She said that she's going to be in Miami. He said, great, we're going to smash. That's how the conversation went. He just gave the Cliff Notes version, which is effectively what she's going to show in the actual screenshots of the text messages here in a minute. That's not how you escalate. That is a terrible way to escalate.
Whatever, maybe. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, we're good. This is how I do it. Like, no pressure. And then she like decided to like try to put me on blast and put screenshots of our conversation on her shit. And she blurted out my name. And then she sent me a DM saying like, you should probably rethink how you talk to women, blah, 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 trying to shame me and say like,
No, he's saying that she tried to shame him. What I got was that she was gonna, because she even says it here later, she offered to come on the podcast to teach him how to talk to women to help give him some insight. And I think he's twisting it here a little bit because he doesn't want to look bad.
I can expose you. She's like, I'll expose you. I was like, do it, bitch. Like, go ahead. Like, you don't know who you're talking to. And she puts out my name there, and then I literally took that thing that she reposted and I reshared the story. And I said, I love it when 304 saying that they can expose you. Like,
he's trying to hook up with her, and now he's calling her a lady of the night. Which 304 is a slang. I had to look it up because I'm out of the loop apparently. But slang for people who charge for bedroom fun. So he's trying to hook up with her. When she says no, suddenly she's a B-word, a slut, and a lady of the night.
same dude on camera that I am off camera. Like it don't change. Like I'm not hanging out with you just to hang out. Like nah. Like that's just not how this goes. She thought.
So you're not hanging out just to hang out and not to collab, which was a business arrangement. Then you had a terrible way of asking for a date. And why the hell? And I'll get further into this later. Why the hell would you reach out to a girl that's literally on the other side of the country for a date when you live in Miami? Have you got rejected by every girl in Miami already? That now you have to reach out to girls that are on the other side of the freaking country?
She was gonna get a free trip and hang out and not fuck. You think I'm?
And again, we'll see. He's saying free trip. She was already planning a trip to Miami. So she was going to be there. She was flying herself out, and she says as much in the text messages. He never says anything about flying her out.
Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it don't work that way.
And
You
if
gotta
you
give
want
up
to
something.
see what happened on Instagram, go follow Myron, upload Fit 2Ts.
Yeah.
So then they leak her Instagram and tell all of the guys watching to go blast her. So she ends up getting a ton of DMs, which it's a very immature thing to do. Should not have done that. There is one other thing that he doesn't show in this. All right, so I really think that the roommates made a mistake here in jumping in the middle of this. I really like Aziz and their content. I don't think if they saw her side of the story that they would have they'd be sitting there laughing about this. This is not a good look for Myron. Definitely not a good look for guys. And if I was sitting there, I'd be like, this is let's not go down this road.
Before I was like, we're gonna smash. She didn't like that. She tried to be like, oh well, that's your asshole move. Okay, you want me to lie to you and then like try to be on this?
Sounds like
other
I've
bullshit?
seen this.
You
before.
probably should
Yeah.
have finessed her. You'd have finessed her. You've been good, but
Yeah.
then you in the bad guy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't win, brother.
She messed up.
can't
She
win.
messed up. Yeah, because if you don't tell the truth, oh my God, he just want me for sex.
You
But if I
let
do
me
tell the
on.
truth, you're
Yeah.
a jerk.
Yeah, so he tried to justify it by saying, I'm just being upfront and honest. That's all well and good, but this is not game. That saying, hey, when you get here, we're gonna smash. That's not game.
And it's like, nah, bro. Like she wanted to smoke. Okay. Now you got to deal with that. Now you got to get embarrassed and look stupid
Hey.
and all this other shit.
Except, at least in my opinion, maybe some guys think differently. She's not the one that looks bad out of this.
Someone put her Instagram in the chat.
Can we see her Instagram real
It
quick?
might have been me.
She has a nice ass. That's the only reason because she smashed a bunch of dudes, bro. So I was like,
Hold on 1 second.
It doesn't matter whether she's a virgin or whether she has smashed every guy on the West Coast. It doesn't mean she's gonna smash you. She could be as pure as the undriven white snow, or she could be a freaking adult star. Still doesn't matter. You still got to approach it with a little bit of finesse. You got to have some game, and what you're gonna see in the text messages is not game.
and she smashed a couple of people that I know, and she out here trying to act like she's like special. I'm like, bruh.
The fact that he keeps trying to harp on that, he's like, hey, well, she slept with other people, so why not me? It's not how that works. And the sad thing is, Myron knows that. He's given advice previously on this same podcast where he tells guys, hey, look, she says, no, just because she hooked up with your friend doesn't mean she's going to hook up with you. The same thing here. Just because she hooked up with your friends, Myron, doesn't mean she's going to hook up with you. And whether she did or not is irrelevant.
Brother Myron, you got a type, don't you?
Huh?
Huh?
No, she got a nice like.
No,
no,
you got
yeah.
You got a type.
Well, she's not like. Well, that's why I was like. Here's the thing: the less I care, the less I try.
Okay.
So like when it's like girls like that are like right on the edge, I'm 100% direct. Like
Why you always lying?
Hate to break it to you, Myron, you're capping. I don't have one of those, no cap hats that you got, so this will have to do. But you're capping. If you didn't care, you wouldn't even brought it up. You wouldn't be trying to, you wouldn't have lashed at her in the messages. You care. You shot your shot, and you had no game, so you failed. And now that she's calling you out on the fact you have no game, and you're butthurt about it. All right, so that was the video clip that I wanted to show that Kevin actually cut out of his portion of the clip. It was the part where Myron's saying he's just direct if he doesn't care. So I want to get into showing the actual text messages. Actually, these are DMs on Instagram, I believe. All right, so I'm not going to let them read it out because they take forever. It's like, yo, we should do a collab. That's what he's reaching out to her. This is May 25th, so less than a month ago. And she replies, hey, sure, what you got in mind? And a smiley face. Interested in a YouTube collab in Miami. And then she says, sure, I'm not sure when. And she's got something on the next page. There is a page that they appear to not show, at least a few messages. They mentioned it in the longer form video that he had them. He skipped over them for some reason. I'm assuming that's where the relationship questions came up. But again, we're looking, and this is not too far along because this is only a couple messages later. It would have to be next week if we did. Would early next week work? This is, again, Myron saying we'd have to do it next week because he had the Vegas thing that he was going to be doing the following week. So would be early next week work, like Monday or Tuesday. Now, interestingly enough, he wants her to come out before he flies across the country to go to Vegas. It would have been probably an easier sell if he invited her to meet him in Vegas to do the collab. Since she lives in California, so it's not that far of a trip. Instead of trying to fly her all the way across the country. Or not even fly her, have her fly all the way across the country. Anyway. Then he come back and say that would be tough. You didn't answer the relationship questions. So he's pointing out the fact that she skipped over those. And she said, it actually didn't load until just now for some reason. I am single. Keep in mind, he runs a dating podcast. So far, the message is not too far out of the realm of the business arrangement. Actually dating anyone, dated someone for a couple of months last year. Before that, I was single for about 2 years, but love that topic. Again, she still thinks this is talking about business. There's been no escalation to talking about personal stuff, other than the fact that you could bleed the whole dating conversation into it. Here's his next response. All right, cool. I'm up front that I'm not going to do anything platonic with you, just being honest. I showed my wife this series of text messages. And I said, so, if we met in the first 4 or 5 sentences, I said, hey, look, that's all great now. I don't want to do anything platonic with you. Just so you know. How would you react it? And she laughed. She said, I would have finished my sales pitch, walked away, and disappeared until you finished. This is not how you escalate. This is an example of what you don't do to escalate. All right, so we're going to see more messages here in a second. All right, so here's the next response. She replies, I'm confused. I'm not trying to do anything you accept collab. Again, she's basically being upfront saying, this is just a business thing for me. He comes back, no problem. I collab directly with girls I date. No pressure though. So she replies, so if we aren't dating, you don't want to collab? Like, nope, don't mean to be an a-hole, but we have plenty of women in Miami. If you have plenty of women in Miami, why are you reaching out to California to get a hookup? And she said, well, same. We have plenty of guys here in California. Why would I fly out to Miami to date somebody who I know nothing about. That's a weird way of saying it because you date somebody to get to know them. Like you go on a date, that's the whole purpose of especially the first couple dates, is to get to know them and see if you want to have a relationship with them. And again, here is where he displays another amateur level of game. Simple. Attractive women are common, high value men are not. Is that supposed to convince her that her panties should drop? Like, seriously, dude, this is not how you get that to happen. If I had not seen Myron's response, I would think that this was him doing a beta test for his course on how not to run game. How not to slide into her DMs. In fact, if that had been his response, I probably would have believed it, saying, oh yeah, he was just running a beta test and giving a real world example of if you try and hook up with the girl and you're this direct, this is what's going to happen. She's going to be like, what the hell, dude, and run away. And that would have been a better way for him to cover his butt. This is just cringeworthy. She replies, you haven't proven to me that you're a high value man, and actually I know quite a few high value men. I'm not just an attractive woman, I'm an entrepreneur with a 6-figure business and a high profile asset. I'm nothing but common. She actually means to say I'm anything but common. No hard feelings. Again, if I were her friend, I would, that second part, the first part where she says, you haven't proved to me you're a high value man, dead on. That's how she should have responded. Whether she knows a few high value men's irrelevant, she could have just stopped and said, you haven't proved to me you're a high value man, period. The second part is a problem. She's trying to qualify her value when she's rejecting a guy. She doesn't need to. She could have left that off entirely, and she's trying to qualify her value in a way that's not displaying any value to him anyway. Again, how much money you make, how much money you have, doesn't matter at all to guys. When you come into a relationship, you could be broke, as long as you don't have a massive amount of debt. You could be broke or you could be a millionaire. Most guys aren't going to care. Not even most guys. Guys in general aren't going to care. All right, then she says, high value men don't talk the way you just did. I completely agree. I have 75 people in my story who voted in the last hour. I can't believe what you said. I don't even know that she necessarily needed to put it out for a poll. She probably did because she was in shock, and this is a way for her to get some free PR because it would blow up. From the marketing perspective, I don't blame her. But from a personal perspective, there's no need to put this out and say, hey, can you guys believe he did this? But I do agree that this level of game is amateurish and cartoonish, and she calls it insane. It's just, to me, it shows that he's only dealt with girls who have no self-esteem. It doesn't mean that all the girls that come on his podcast are low self-esteem. There are a couple of them that seem to be fairly strong, but it seems to me that the girls he's trying to date, the girls he's trying to get with, if any of them accepted an offer like this, they likely have to look at their self-esteem and be like, what the hell? Kevin was having some internet issues, so she started showing the actual messages on her actual Instagram on her phone and showing it. And this is why I put the cap on when he said he didn't care. If you don't care, you just let it go and move on. He goes through and he's trying to insult her and berate her. Like, I'm just being honest, stand by it. I'm not collaborating with you unless we have some bedroom fun. You've had a bedroom fun with a bunch of dudes I know and aren't special. All right, so 2 things there. One, whether or not she's, as I mentioned before, whether or not she's had bedroom fun with no guys or whether or not she's had it with every guy on the West Coast. Completely irrelevant. Doesn't mean she's going to want to have it with you. 2, if she isn't special, why do you want to get with her? And there's a third thing here. If she has the body count you say she does, why do you want to get with her? Goes against everything you talk about in your podcast. Why would you want to get with a girl who has a massive body count? You're not being congruent. You're contradicting your own stated philosophy. So you could have just said no and kept it moving. She did. You're the one that right there. You're clearly in your feelings going through all that effort with a poll. No, I think she was probably just using the poll for, the free PR. And I imagine, especially the women who were on there looked at it and kind of laughed and said, yeah, this is not going to work. I agree. This kind of crap is not going to work. Go ahead and screenshot the conversation to Clout Chase. She's got more Instagram followers than you do, bud. Yeah, you got more followers on YouTube. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. I don't care what 75 simps. Most of the people that follow her are women. In your story to White Knight, the difference is I say what I want and don't care what you think. If this is how you try and pick up girls, I hope you don't care what they think, because the only girl you're going to be having fun with is Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. All right, and then her response is, I haven't slept with a bunch of dudes, you know, check your facts, because this is really an ignorant claim, and I'm pretty damn special. Again, she's qualifying herself. She probably is not used to, and it's understandable, she's probably not used to somebody insulting her this way. There's no need to qualify herself. She should just be done with it and say, look, that's what you think of me? Great. Why were you trying to smash me? You're a terrible representation of your podcast and your business, and I'll happily put you on blast. So she's saying this now because he told her to. He told her to put it out. So she's like, all right, fine. You have the opportunity to influence men and make a positive impact, and yet the example you set is trash. I would agree that, especially if you're trying to teach game, this is a horrible example of game. This is not how you escalate things. This is not how you try and get a date. And this is part of the reason why, like, when them pushing, trying to slide into girls' DMs and Instagram as a way of sourcing dates, it's trash. All right, so the cold approach video that David De Las Marinas just did, which there's a clip here of this. He just posted this, I want to say it was probably today, maybe? May have been earlier this week. It would have been Monday. This is a much better example of how to approach women, how to get numbers. I will caveat this. So David has an advantage that Myron doesn't have, and I can speak from personal experience on this as well. There's an old saying that it's easier to get a job when you have a job. The same goes with women. It's easier to get a date when you have a date. I'm a married guy. David's engaged. Julia is a big part of his channel. If you watch it, you'll see that he has a very beautiful fiance. So when he's doing these cold approach videos, he doesn't care whether these girls shoot him down or not. It doesn't affect him one way at all. And that confidence, that lack of caring, is more attractive. So you're going to be more successful. Now he's still not going to get every girl's number. But I can tell you right now that my batting average when I was single was maybe 5 to 10%. Batting average when I'm walking down the grocery store with a wedding ring on, it would probably be closer to 25-30%. David's probably going to be the same way. And when I say that, I'm not saying that because I walk around practicing. I'm saying that because there are times where I literally walk around the grocery store with my wedding ring on, and I will be approached. I'm not as built as David, especially right now. I've lost way too much muscle because of this damn thing. But I can only imagine that he's probably going to have that same thing anytime he's at the store without Julia. With that caveat, if you watch this video, this is a much better representation of how to approach women, how to talk to women, and how to get them to agree to a date than what Myron's showing in the DMs on his Instagram feed here. All right, so, and then the final message that he sends before I think she probably blocked him is, yes, you've had fun with a lot of guys. Again, if that's the case, why are you trying to shoot your shot with somebody on the other side of the country who is supposedly hooked up with a lot of dudes? Like, are you out of girls in Miami to hook up with that you got to reach across the country? Like, there's a lot of cities in between, even if you are. Like, what about Orlando, Atlanta? Like, why you gotta reach all the way across the country? And then cement his reputation for not lying. Yeah, I will say he didn't lie, and she doesn't even claim he lied in the messages. He's twisted the truth about how he's responding to it, but yeah, he straight up said, "Yeah, I want to smash," and she said, "No, thank you." And then he's acting like a 8-year-old. Kevin's videos, he went through and when he was doing the interview with her, he was taking the approach that this is a bad behavior from a guy. I somewhat agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with his Harvey Weinstein analogy, simply because there's a power dynamic we play with Harvey that Myron just doesn't have. This is more, to me, it strikes more of desperation of somebody who has no game trying to get laid. And he doesn't know how to do it properly, so he's just throwing whatever out there and hoping something sticks. Like I said, if he had come out in the interview with the roommates and said, yeah, so I was doing a beta test, we got a new course coming out, and I was trying to show examples of bad game, That would have been believable. But doubling down and saying, no, I didn't care. Admit it, dude. You cared. You cared a lot. And your butt hurt that she called you out and rejected you. Rejections happen, man. I took a lot of L's before I met my wife. Before I end it here, I don't want to just point out that this was an example of bad without actually giving an example of how he could have approached this if he actually wanted to try and have a date with this chick. If he had done his research, looked at her Instagram, gone through, if he had looked at it and said, hey, look, I really like the message you're putting out there. I'd love to do a collab. While you're out here, maybe we can grab some drinks or something. That would have been a way that he could have proposed a date without selling her, hey, by the way, we're gonna hook up the first time we meet. The complete irony of all of this. So Rollo and Rich talk about it, how you want the woman to have genuine desire. You want them to want to drop their pants and rock your world. You don't want to say, hey, by the way, if I put a roof over your head, you're gonna, do something for me, right? That's exactly the kind of situation he's setting up here. Despite the fact that he talks about how you want women to have that desire and want to be with you, he's setting up a pure transactional relationship. If she'd gone through with it and said, all right, yeah, we'll come out there, I'll be on your podcast, we'll, hit it once and, I'll get some clout, whatever, move on. Maybe, get some new clients. That would have been a pure transaction. She would have no desire necessarily to come back and do it again. If that's what you want, more power to you, dude. You're going to have a lot of fun in the bedroom with Rosie. These text messages where he goes from 0 to 5,000 in a blink of an eye, not how you properly escalate, not how you seduce. You can't shortcut seduction. Ending it here. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, subscribe, thumbs up buttons. It all helps the algorithm and hopes more people find me. If you like me, I'm pretty sure I'll get some hate mail on this one, but hopefully you learned something. Till next time, keep improving.
You were fine all this time, I was inside out. Put my heart in your hands till it came back round. Didn't think that you'd fallen so deep. Didn't know that I had it in me. Guess my sanity breaks away too easy.